Hello everyone, my name is Karim Shousha. I'm senior lighting artist at UE5, and today I'm gonna show you how you can create photorealism image in Unreal Engine by using the default light in Unreal Engine 5. There is many tips in Unreal Engine, especially in the exposure and the post-processing, also in the lighting, that you can allow to create and achieve the very realistic or realism look like what you're seeing now. So today I will try to show you how you can get the daytime lighting or the overcasting lighting or even the nighttime. Okay, so now if we go here and check the daytime, as you can see here, we have a very nice realism look. Okay, so there is some tips and some secret, and I will try to uncover all the secrets that I know to know how you can achieve this look. Okay, so let's get to start. The first thing you have to do, there is two things you have to change it first from the setting. The first thing, go to the plugin and search for HDRI because we're gonna use the HDRI backdrop. Okay, and just enable, and we need to restart it. But before to restart the engine, you have to go to the project setting and search for rendering, and from rendering you have to go down and make sure you enable support hardware ray tracing. Okay, and also high quality translucent reflection. Okay, so just make sure all of this setting is enabled. Okay, and also visual shadow map. Okay, and then you have to restart the engine and your engine will be ready. So as you can see here, I have very basic scene. Just add some trees from Megascan and basic ground. So let's try to add the light. So the first thing you have to ask yourself, from what the light comes from in the world. So if you can answer this question, you will be able to understand how the light works. So basically, the light comes from two sources. The first source is sky, which is called sky dome, and we call it in 3D, it's global illumination. And the second source is sun, is the sun or the moon. So the sky is always exists in the scene or exists on the world. So the sky will never disappear. But the sun is always visible, and then the sun it goes, and then the moons come on. Okay, so that's mean the sky has to be always visible, and then we can change the intensity of the sunlight or the moonlight. Is that right? Okay, so if you can set up the ambience or the global ambience correctly in the scene, you will be able to get very realism look. And this is what we're gonna do now. So I'm gonna go to the lighting and drag and drop HDRI. Okay, and just I'm gonna push it down here, and we'll reduce the size to 1500. Okay, and let's go back to the lit viewport. And from here, I'm gonna change the intensity for the sky, for the cube map to 100. Okay, and now it's time to import the HDRI. So basically, you can search for HDRI backdrop, and from here you can find many HDRI. So we can, for example, use this one or any other kind of HDRI. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one because I already imported. So let's try to find it here. Okay, so here my HDRI imported. The only thing you have to do to change from should be the normal from texture group to no map. Okay, and save it, and now it's ready to import it here. The second thing, you have to go to the skylight and also import it here, but you have to change to specific cube map and import it. Okay, this step is very important. Now we have to put very high intensity in HDRI to get the specular or the roughness effect on the leaves, especially if you are working on the something like in forest or if you have any foliage in the scene. Okay, so I'm gonna add now 1500. Okay, and as you can see now everything looks too bright, so it's time to add post processing. Okay, and here is the other secret. So the first thing I'm gonna do is search for infinity and make sure, yeah, your post processing is cover all the area. Okay, and now we have to enable auto exposure, and here's the tip. Okay, so if you are working, if you need to achieve the daytime lighting, so you can work, you can put the min EV and the high EV something like 9. Okay, so it's, you see it's dark, but the idea here is the secret. So there is many people, they can't get balance between the sky and the environment overall. So now the sky looks great, but the environment looks dark. So now many people, they said, okay, I'm gonna add more exposure, but if you add more exposure you will get more bright in the sky. So how we can solve this issue? So the first thing, I just want to make sure that I can get the same result by using the exposure as 1. Okay, I will not go for crazy value like 5 or anything, because I don't want to lose any details. So 1 is the default value. Okay, if you have the night times, you can start to add something like 12, but it's gonna comes after. So now let's say 9. Okay, so how we can get this area brighter without effect on the sky intensity? So there is nice options here. I know many of you maybe they never used this before, but we can actually go to details and just enable shadow, contrast, and mid-gray pies. Okay, in mid-gray pies we start with 1. Okay, and in details we need to have, I need to get more details in the scene, so let's add 1.3. Okay, and in the shadow, here is the secret. Let's change this to 0.6 or 0.7. Boom, now we have the scene, it looks matching with the sky, right? So now we can go back to the HDRI and we can choose the intensity, for example 1000, to have lower, maybe lower value. Okay, but because we have too bright sky here and we need to get the mood like in the daytime, so I can keep it 1500. Okay, now we have the skylight matching with the global illumination now. Okay, so the next step, we can first put this in folder. Okay, so now you can try to use the mid gray, for example 1, or we can bring it back to 0. Okay, so now after we set up the global ambience, it's time to add the direction light. Okay, now the direction light, it doesn't matter where you're gonna put the direction light. Okay, so we can put the direction light anywhere, so from the right, from the left, from the top, anywhere. So here you have to put very high intensity, like 1000, between 1000 or 2000, to get the daytime, the correct daytime for the sky, from the sunlight. Okay, so now I will just move the direction. I just need to make sure where exactly the direction light. Yes, here. Okay, and let's move it to this side, because in the middle of day the sun should be on the top. Okay, so now the sun direction, it looks fine. Okay, for me there is an option here. So if you want to get some soft shadow, you can change the source angle here to get more soft shadow, but because we are in the mid of day, so we can keep it as a default value, or even we can get more sharp shadow. Okay, now the scene looks okay, but is not, doesn't look the realistic that we are looking for. So the third layer we are looking for is the fog. Fog also will give us some more blending between the background and the atmospheric. Okay, so I will enable volumetric fog, and don't try to go crazy with this value. So we can just put this as 0.9. Okay, and from here we can get something like this. Okay, and if you want to change the start distance, we can change the start distance to make sure that we have some sharp point here and the only fog effect on the background. Okay, so now as you can see, the layers and everything looks matching. Okay, and listen, we don't do any change on the post processing yet. The post processing, it's the default. Okay, so there is something I'm always try to check. So try to always go to the unlit to see the color of the base color of the assets that you have, and try to match it with your final effect. So if you see too much difference, that means your scene is not correct or not realism. But now, as you can see here, the color and everything looks natural. There is nothing overexposure, even the directional light. So be careful to not go with very crazy value, because it's gonna have something more overexposure. So I'm always try to have this natural feeling. Okay, as we are in mid of day, we can change the temperature to get more yellow. Okay, something like this should be okay. And maybe I will try to, oh, it's okay. We can have some shading here, but that's fine. That's completely fine for me. Okay. Now we have more contrast. I think it makes sense as mid of day we need to have more contrast from the sun. Okay, so I will keep it like this. Okay, and now we can start to go to the post processing and start to play with some setting. So the setting I always prefer to work with, it's chromatic. We can add 0.1, not goes with the crazy values, just maybe 0.1. Okay, and the second thing here, also the blur limits here, if you change this value, you see we can get some nice blending on the top, but you will lose some details here. But in the meantime, you see the color will get close to the more natural look. Okay, so the default value is 0.6, so we can go with 0.3. Okay, now we can really see the base color of this element, and also we can see the sun effect. Even if you look at to this area, you can see the natural effect. Okay, and now if we move around, you see even the ground, everything looks very natural. If we get close to the leaves, looks natural like in real life. And this is what I was talking about. You see this kind of specular on the leaves. This something was very difficult for me to achieve, because this is the secret to achieve the realism look, especially if you are working in something has some trees, or you are working in the forest. Okay. Also, the secret in the local exposure, now many of you few has some issue to have to get some dark shadow in some area. So after we tweak this setting, now you don't have this kind of issues. Okay, you see this is the default value, but here after we tweak this setting. Okay, so now I can enable the we can, oh yeah, we can get something like this to just have some nice effect, but it's okay, it doesn't matter for me now. And it's up to you. You can disable the vignette point, or you can keep it 0.2, 0.3. It's up to you. Okay. The only thing I'm always try to tweak it here, I go to mid-tone and enable gamma and gain. Okay, so sometimes in the forest you need to get this kind of yellow effect. Okay, so to have this more yellow. You see now we have something similar to the mid of day time. I want to change something here, so I can keep the same value. Oops. So yeah, I think that's it. Also, if you want to get more blue, like from the, because the sky here it's blue, so we can get some blue effect by, we can add just a little bit of tint blue tint here. So turning this off, this on. Now we have this nice blue tint like in the sky. So now we are matching the same tint color from the sky, but I feel it's too much, so we can just move it like this. Okay, so now if you start to move your camera, we have this very nice look. Everything looks natural now, so you can create your own video and just export it. Okay, so the same principle I used to create, for example, the foggy day. The foggy day, it's the same thing, but I can change the HDRI. Okay, so the first thing, I'm gonna turn off the directional light. Okay, and from HDRI I can use this kind of foggy image. Okay, so let's try to, or yeah, I think this is similar, so we can use this. And from here I will add more blue effect. Okay, and in post-processing I just need to reset this value. I will remove the directional light for now. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the HDRI and just add more blue and turn this off, turn this on. Now we get some effect, but as you can see here, if we turn this off, the cloud is too bright, so we can go to the HDRI and change the value to 30, for example. Now we can start to see the real cloud effect, but compared to the cloud and the sky, it looks too bright. Is that correct? So what we're gonna do is we can start first to look at maybe add oh, not that one. We can change the value to 800. Okay, so now it's a bit matching with the sky. Okay, and let's add the fog element here. So I will change the fog effect a bit to the top. Okay, now we start to get some nice foggy, and also you can use my high fog, the free tools that I shared before. You can get from my website. It's very basic blueprint. It's called high fog or misty fog, so you can just drag it and drop in your scene to get this kind of fog and start to control of your fog. You can get more foggy from the top or even keep it like this. So now we can really see this kind of realism for the fog, but we need to have something more cinematic. So we can go to the post-processing. Okay, and from here I would prefer to change the value to have oops, no, not that one. So I think 9.5, 9.5, it's a good value. I just need to match the same effect, but you can really see the specular on the leaves here. It looks very natural. Okay, and the amount of light, it's matching with the sky. Okay, if you don't have experience in the lighting, I would advise you to search for some reference to start to try to see some reference and try to match it with the same value. Okay, so now I will go to the post processing. Okay, and from here I will go to the mid-tone and start to move a bit blue. Now you can see the difference between this and this. Now we get more cinematic look. And here, if you want to get more contrast, and that's too much for me. We can just add a little bit of tendy here. Nothing we're gonna do here. So you see here we didn't do any change in the temperature or even in post processing. I don't touch anything here, but it's up to you. You can move it the temperature. Now it's time for sure. Yes, you can add directional light. So I would prefer to add directional light, and let's add the intensity now for 600. Okay, and from here we can just get some nice light from the sun. So just see the difference between this one and this one. We get some nice shadow on the ground. We can keep it 300 for example. Now just a little bit of tint, so don't go with very high value. For example, you see the difference between 1500 and just add this. For sure you can keep this because sometimes the sun can be visible from the clouds, but if you want to achieve this realism effect as overcasting light, so you can use this. Now we have this nice look. If we check the light everywhere, the balance and everything looks very natural. Okay, so it's very simple. You see, we just use using the default light system in Unreal Engine, so we didn't use anything. I know some of you they already bought my sky atmospheric, but yeah, I just decided to uncover some secrets about the realism lighting in Unreal Engine. So the same principles that we use, we can for sure achieve the night mode. So let's try to get the night mode. You see this image, it looks beautiful. So it's like the real. It's for me, it's very realistic. So now, just we're gonna disable this for now. Okay, and from HDRI, I will select one of the night HDRI. So from here, let's select this. Now, as you can see here, we have this sky. For me, the ambience or the intensity looks okay. Now 50 or 60, I think 60, it's good. Okay, and from post-processing, I just need to go with 11, okay, to have this kind of dark effect. Okay, and from HDRI now I am gonna change the intensity for HDRI to something to like 2500 to have more intensity. Okay, or I think we can go with 11. Sometimes there is, I think this is a bug from Unreal Engine, so I don't really know why we have this. So it's crazy. I don't really know what is the problem here, but this kind of bugs always happen, but we'll try to fix it now. Okay, still exists, no problem with this. Okay, so now I will turn on the directional light, and we can go something to 12,000 to have the night color, the moon light color. Okay, for sure the light is not like this, so let's try to remove it. Okay, so weird. Okay, so we can go back to my my main what's called level, and just turn on this one. Okay, so as you can see here, we have this night mode effect. Okay, so let's see the setting here. As I mentioned, we have the intensity 30. Okay, and the sky light intensity is 1500. Okay, so if we turn off this one and the fog, we can see the same effects that I was talking about. We need to get this kind of effect on the leaves, comes from the global ambience. So that's why I put the intensity now, it's 1500. Okay, and also the color, there is difference between this color and this color. Okay, so let's try to keep it blue, and by adding the directional light and the exponential fog, we can get this. But be careful when you use this idea, your light has to go with very high intensity. So for example, if you just put this maximum intensity, it will never be visible. So you can add 1000 or maybe more to just start to see this intensity, because we are using now the real value like in real life. Okay, so that's very much for the lighting. You can start to test this and try to test it with different time of day. You can get the same effect by using the sunset, okay, or the sun, even the sunrise. So the sunrise, we can go with something like this. Okay. So yeah, that's it. There is nothing that special, but as I mentioned before, the secret, it's all about how you can tweak the setting. Oh, still exists here. Sometimes it happen with me. So oh, let's try to move this. Okay, so as I mentioned, the main idea here to try how you can tweak the value for the exposure and the local ambience. So I wish you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel and share this video if you like it, and see you in next video. Thank you. Bye bye.